couldn't get to the emergency room fast enough as I was watching my daughter's face, body, and neck change. She was experiencing her first allergic reaction. What started off as an after-school playtime outside with neighbors, she tried a cashew nut, and this is what happened. My baby was crying so bad. She came in literally holding her throat, saying she couldn't breathe. It hurts. She wants water. Saw hives. These were her eyes weren't leaving the house. Within 10 minutes, that was the first clip you just saw. She begged for cereal before we walked out the door, and y'all, I was scared. I tried my best to not let her see it because all I wanted to do was get her somewhere to get some help to see what was happening. She kept saying, my eyes are itchy, my lips are burning, mommy, my neck. And she was doing a little scratching motion. I just didn't know what to do. So we jumped in the car, pajama pants and all, went to the urgent care. Urgent care took one look at her and said, can you breathe? She said yes. And they sent us off to the ER. The emergency room was about a 13-minute drive. And doing all this knowing that I am by myself on an island is literally terrifying. Thank goodness to the staff of the emergency room, because when we got there, my baby was seen right away. And before they were even done taking her temperature and weighing her, staff was already ready to take her back to the room. Even though her throat was itchy and she was kind of having a hard time breathing, she was still able to answer the questions, and Mama was right behind her answering what she couldn't. At this point, her eyes were completely almost like shut. She literally said, Mom, I can't see. I can't really see. She wanted to see herself, but I was terrified to show her because I knew that would literally scare her. She kept looking at me, and Zara has this way that she looks at me when she really doesn't know what's happening or she's scared. She was having a hard time breathing at this point, and all I could do was just watch her and just be close to her. They asked me a bunch of questions, and all I knew was that she ate a cashew, and as soon as it went down, she was holding her throat and felt like she couldn't breathe. We got to the emergency room within 30 minutes of this happening, and as you guys can see, everything was moving so fast. I literally did not know what to do other than just be right behind her. And I kept telling her she's fine. Mommy's right there. They got her in the room right away in this bed. We made sure that she was comfortable. She had a bunch of questions, not only about her stay, but also about every other person that we walked by in the emergency room. I always make the joke that I'm African and we have no allergies, and true. In my immediate family, there's no one that has allergies. Once they got my baby in there, they were basically saying that they wanted to check her breathing, her blood pressure, and her heart. When I heard those three things, y'all, I was terrified. I'm like, what y'all mean I didn't check her heart? Her heart is fine. It was just fine an hour ago. Her eyes was literally completely shut by then. And Zara's not a quiet child, and she was quiet. She was just still. I think she was just trying to process and take it all in. She had a bunch of questions for me. And her number one concern was making sure that I was okay. Even though I did cry, but I tried to not let her see me, she could tell that Mommy was scared. We were in the emergency room for 4.5 hours. She got a bunch of medication, Benadryl, which actually ended up knocking her out. And they really just wanted her to be there to be able to monitor her. I don't want to mispronounce or miss anything, but basically what she experienced, she was also showing 2 out of the 3 signs of insert a really big word. And they wanted to make sure that with all the physical signs that she was showing, struggle of breathing and whatever else they say, they really just want to make sure that she was going to be okay. And thank goodness she was.
Hi, my name is Dr. Ruben. I'm a board-certified allergist, and I'm so sorry for what this family recently experienced. It can be quite scary, but I'm so happy to see that this child is doing much better right now. This post is to help raise awareness about what food allergies is, because as this video showed, people may not know what food allergies are and how people can get very sick, and this could potentially be a life-threatening situation. So this is for general educational purposes only, not meant to be specific medical advice. We do not fully understand why food allergy rates have been steadily rising over the last few years, but we do know from a mechanistic standpoint that the immune system undergoes a process called sensitization when there is an initial exposure to the food protein. Cells of the immune system called B cells will produce antibodies called immunoglobulin E, or IgE for short. These are like protein tags that are very specific that could latch on to that food protein on a re-exposure and cause cells of your immune system called mast cells to activate and release various chemicals such as histamine and leukotrienes that can cause potentially very severe or even life-threatening symptoms that can occur within minutes to a couple of hours of ingestion, and these symptoms can be reproducible even at small amounts. If a situation like this happens to you or a loved one after initial treatment, you may be following up with your primary care physician, who may refer you to an allergist like myself. And what we typically do in the clinic is, after getting a good history and physical exam, we would then do some testing to confirm that food allergy through either skin and or blood testing to determine the level of risk of having a reaction if you accidentally eat that food allergen in the future. Ideally, you should be reading labels carefully and communicating with other people about your food allergies, and then also having a written allergy action plan to determine when would you need to use an epinephrine autoinjector device for severe allergic reactions, also known as anaphylaxis, or for more milder reactions using an oral antihistamine. There will be a lot of information that will be discussed at that initial office visit. It may be hard to digest all of that information, and you may have some questions in the future, so it's always a good idea to follow up with your physician if you have further questions. There are also some professional organizations that you can take a look at to learn more information, and here's a few examples right here to take a look at. I also make a lot of educational content on my social media platform regarding food allergies and asthma, so if you want to learn more from me, feel free to hit that follow button to learn more.